What's going on, everybody? Tim from Tierfon Orbital again. So this is going to be an actual demo video for the client. It's going to be a walkthrough as well as, like I said, a demo with, we'll put a blade in it and everything. I do want to talk about the chassis. This is a little bit different than the last KY Sith Killer that I've done in the past. I just switched up the greebly work a little bit. But other than that, it's the same. It's a static chassis. And I did do some very, very minor edits to the secondary crystal chamber, and I'll talk about that as well when we go over the hilt. Right, so let's just jump right into it. Here is the chassis that I designed for this particular hilt. Really, really straightforward chassis. I've got greebly work around both sides. Just some like simple venting in here. There's nothing behind this venting. I've done a chassis like this with a marble in this area, but I just kept that open and like hollow with some venting. Greebly work, on off switch. We got a kill switch here, battery tray. Plenty of room for a 28mm speaker in this chassis. The kill switch has got a little bit of a different placement. It kind of points up towards the board. It's in this cavity here. So it's kind of like sits just below or flush up against this lip. And our Proffie board slides in here and just sits in this tray, right? Nice and simple. Not too crazy. It's a static chassis, as I said. So let's talk about the hilt. Okay, so here is the hilt. This is the Sith Killer from KY Lightsabers. Now, he does two versions of this hilt. There is a dark side version, which is the Jedi Killer, and this is the light side version, or the Sith Killer. I prefer the light side version of this hilt. KY Lightsabers does make some really, really unique stuff. But as far as the Sith Killer and the Jedi Killer series, I think the silver one is a better looking hilt, right? So let's talk about the hilt. So we've got the grip is not threaded. So I've talked about this in length before. You know, it is what it is. I'm not a fan of set screw grips. It can cause some issues at times with stripping, and I just feel like, you know, to carry around an Allen key all the time to take your grip off is kind of a pain, in my opinion. But given the particular look of this hilt, I'm assuming that's why KY or Kevin went with a set screw for this, because you can't get, maybe it's just not easy to get clocking and timing right when you've got external wiring like that and everything. But anyway, that's just my 2 cents, right? So the grip does secure with a set screw, and that's how you keep the grip tight to the rest of the hilt. Making our way up, we've got a secondary crystal chamber. Now for this crystal chamber, I did put, so KY ships with, all of their hilts ship with these like faux crystals. They're basically just like a resin or an acrylic crystal. But for this secondary chamber, I actually created a custom mount and put a real quartz crystal in here. And up top, I just kept the regular stock crystal that KY ships with, right? Just working in these crystal chambers with these hilts is not easy, honestly. It's not easy getting these mounts out of here. It's just kind of a pain. So with this particular build, I did not do any edits to the crystal or the crystal mounts. I just kept it stock, right? And making our way up, we've got a PCB emitter from CCsabers. Now, I did change the screw up top here, the set screw for the blade, to a thumb screw. So you can get your blade out at least without having to get an Allen key, right? Just makes it a little bit easier to change your blade out. So to get at the chassis, right, you unscrew your set screw, take your grip off. Here's the chassis. Now, what I do like about KY Lightsabers hilts is they're just, I mean, there's like 32mm of space in here. It's just like plenty of room to play around with and put a lot of greebly work. So here is the chassis, right, for this particular build. Proffie board sits here. Here's that kill switch down in that chamber down there that I talked about. 28mm speakers up top, or at the bottom. I can't talk today. And with this chassis, I did do like a pass rub and buff, and then I did paint some of the greebly accents a little bit, just to make stuff stand out, right? So to use the hilt, spring side is your negative, so you want to put the battery in flat part down towards that spring, and then you want to hit your kill switch.
Red 5 standing by.
Okay, so once you get your audible cue, you know the hilt's on, you want to slide your grip in, line the hole on the grip up with that hole on the back of the hilt, or you could just line up the wire to make sure you're putting the grip on the right way, right? And then you take your set screw and tighten it. Now, preferably you want to tighten this with an Allen key. For this demo, I'm just going to hand tighten it, right? And then you're ready to go, right? So there's that primary crystal pulses and times out, and then secondary is on with the blade when it activates. Okay, so let's come down. There's a better look at that crystal chamber.
I am no Jedi.
So twist to activate, twist to deactivate is on. Okay, to use the hilt, there are two buttons, two tactile, very, very large tactile buttons here. So the bottom button is your aux button. Top is going to be your main. So hit your main to activate. Aux will activate clashes. And you tap your main again to retract the blade. To scroll through your fonts, you want to hit your aux while the hilt is off.
I'm never touching that thing again.
And you can scroll through your fonts by pointing the hilt down to go backwards.
I'm no Jedi.
And pointing it up to go forwards.
I'm never touching that thing again.
In font. So let's put a blade in it. Right, so to make life a little bit easier when changing your blade, okay, you want to unscrew that thumb screw. So you don't need to get an Allen key out for your blade, right? You pop your blade in, make sure it's resting on those PCB pins, and then just hand tighten that thumb screw. It makes things a lot easier, right? And then you're ready to go. All right, so twist to activate, twist to deactivate is on.
General Kenobi.
Great sound. Sorry, that blade's probably not tight all the way. Great sound because you get a lot of resonance in that grip. And of course, with a 28mm speaker, it sounds really good.
Lord Vader.
One more. So different different crystal animations for each font. If you want to change color, you want to hold down aux and tap main, and you can switch color on the fly if you want to, and then tap aux again when you find a color you like. So that's it. A nice quick rundown on the KY Sabers Sith Killer. I just, you know, I can appreciate custom work. I'm just not a fan of the screw in or the set screw grip. Not a fan of that. And I've just found that you can sometimes get a little play, a little bit of wobble in the grip there. I mean, you really got to make sure you're cranking down that set screw a lot. So, beautiful hilt, really unique hilt. Just the caveat is it's not a threaded grip, and that's it, right? So, to the client, thank you very much for trusting me with your install. To the viewers, thank you very much for watching. If anyone has any questions about this particular build, please don't be a stranger. And with that being said, may the Force be with you always. Thanks for watching, everybody.